Welcome to Drawfee, where we take your dumb ideas
and make even dumber drawings.
I'm Karina.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Julia.
And I'm Martin.
What?
Say what?
What? There, I said it. Martin.
Hello.
AKA Lil Kuriboh.
My gosh. Martin, yes, both names work.
Why don't you tell people what you do?
I make YouTube content. I started making YouTube content back in 2006, and I started with a thing called Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which took off to my surprise. It kind of took on a life of its own. It snowballed. I never expected it to. I never expected my Yu-Gi-Oh! Parody to become such a big thing. I also made a thing called Naruto, the abridged comedy stand-up spoof series show, which is much less well known, but I'm also very proud of it. It's one of the dumbest things I've ever made, but it's also, in my opinion, one of the best things I've made.
That'll do it.
Another thing I'm kind of known for is I do the audio description for the Star Wars movies for the Blu-ray and digital releases worldwide.
Wow.
When The Force Awakens came out, they wanted someone with a sort of more British accent that was living in the States, because I guess they wanted someone who sounded like a Star Wars villain. I don't know. So
British.
There you go. But yeah, they got me to do that, and I was very excited. That's one of the more exciting things I've gotten to do. I've been in a few anime things as well. Hunter x Hunter. I was in the K-On! Movie. Usually when they need a British voice, they bring me in, and I'm available.
Damn, dude, you're all over the place.
I'm all over the place.
So many.
Feels
And
like
now
it.
we've dragged you here.
Yeah,
Excellent.
we got
Something
you.
equally as cool to Star Wars.
It's like right on the same.
At least.
Equal cool factor.
We brought you on today to humor me, fellow Yu-Gi-Oh! Old blood. We've walked the same holy ground.
Now, Karina, when did you get into Yu-Gi-Oh?
When I was a wee child.
Like which series? Like the original?
The original.
Wow.
It aired on TV.
Brilliant.
I did, in the 8th grade, lurk in the live journal community where you first posted Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, so...
Play the damn card. Yes, it's
Absolute classic.
an integral part of my history and our history, I suppose.
Well, I was there. You
Wow.
just didn't know.
What was that like? What was it like seeing that get posted like early on back then?
I remember thinking it was cool and then making my friends watch like every episode.
Now that, in my opinion, is why the show took off, because I don't think the show was that special early on, but the fan reaction to it was phenomenal. I really do owe a lot to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans for spreading word about it. I really think that it wouldn't have taken off if the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom hadn't embraced it. So I'm always very grateful to people like you, Karina, and everybody in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom. I don't think I would be here without you guys.
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans are ride or die, which is why we're always down to do more Yu-Gi-Oh! videos. Am I right, guys?
Heck yeah.
Which is why we're doing one right now, and we simply must start drawing in this episode. And so I'm going to say what we're doing here today. It's, Martin, you're going to give us like some movie characters, and we're going to make them into Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, isn't that?
Yes,
That's the prompt,
I believe
right?
that's what we're doing. Yes, I'm very excited to
Yu-Gi-Oh!
see
cards,
the results.
Yu-Gi-Oh! characters.
Well, I'm ready. If you want to give me my character, I'm up first.
Sure thing. I thought, since I started off by talking about the Star Wars stuff, it might be fun, especially with the new Obi-Wan Kenobi show coming out. It'd be fun to draw Obi-Wan Kenobi, the classic. You could think of him as Alec Guinness or as Ewan McGregor. I tend to find that I think of him as Ewan McGregor more these days than Alec Guinness. No disrespect to the Academy Award-winning actor, Sir Alec Guinness, but Ewan McGregor is just so charming and dashing and really seems to love that character in those films. And with the proliferation of things like the Clone Wars show, I just have that image of young Obi-Wan more so these days.
Yeah, totally.
And I thought, if you need a reference for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card to sort of liken him to,
Sure.
there's this guy Neo the Magic Swordsman.
Oh,
I don't know if it's a very popular card, but it's the first one I can think of that was holding a sword, and he's sort of got magic powers as well, sort of a Force user.
Yeah.
He's holding a finger up,
absolutely.
and he's got a little glowy beam on his finger, so
That's it. The Force.
Totally.
there you go.
I like that this card, it kind of looks like we've caught him off guard. Like he wasn't expecting
He's like,
the camera to like slip over and look at him.
It says, a dimensional drifter. What? Who not only practices sorcery, but is also a sword and martial arts master. I think that sounds like a Jedi.
Yeah.
Damn, what can't he do? Get you a man like Neo the Magic Swordsman.
I like to read, but is also a sword and martial arts master. Like he is a sword that is a martial arts master.
He's also a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you zoom out this photo of him, he actually is just a sword. So weird.
That's just a guy behind him. That's not him.
Yeah. Like I said, we've caught the sword by surprise. He wasn't ready. He wasn't in position. He's not fully in the photo.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is probably my favorite Star Wars character these days. And as a kid, I don't think I would have said that just because I knew him as this old guy, you know, who met Luke on in the desert. And, you know, as cool as that character is for that role, I think I definitely prefer the swashbuckling sort of young bearded Ewan McGregor.
I like Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi, just because he's like the first time you really see a Jedi do some like cool mind freak stuff where he's like, these are not the droids you're looking for. I'm like, damn, I want that.
Right?
Damn, Chris Angel over here.
Look at Chris Angel.
I love that original. A New Hope's probably still my favorite Star Wars film, just because they introduced so many elements of the world of Star Wars that seemed so mysterious back then. Like they talk about the Clone War, and you don't know what the heck that is. And like you say, he does the Jedi mind trick, which I'm sure if they knew they were going to make 7 or 8 extra films and a series, multiple series, they probably would have been like, maybe we should be careful about how, you know, world breaking these powers are. But no, he can just wave his hand and do whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It is very fun because my roommate is a Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
Like, he had a bookshelf that was every Star Wars novel. And so we'd have this deal, this unspoken deal, where he was welcome to simply info dump Star Wars lore on me, and I would return it. It's something usually Yu-Gi-Oh related.
Oh, brilliant.
But, of course. But, it does just sound like an absolute mess. And I'm just like, wow. I'm so glad I became just like definingly obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh instead of Star Wars, because Yu-Gi-Oh lore is already convoluted.
Oh, yes.
This sounds like nothing. How do you Star Wars fans live like this?
Especially with 2 different canons now. You've got the Legends canon and you've got the current, I don't know what they call it now, but the expanded universe as it is now. Like, it conflicts with itself.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you get that right in your head?
And there's so much supplementary material. I was shocked when I discovered the theme park was canon.
Yeah, everything that happens there is canon. It's crazy.
I was so mad.
You can't do that.
Rides breaking down is canon.
This is not Star Wars, but it reminds me of like the Matrix Online, how that MMO was canon to the story of the Matrix.
Right.
And when like the new one, there were like trailers for the new Matrix, people were like, why is Morpheus not in the trailer? And everyone's like, Morpheus canonically died in the Matrix Online MMO.
Yeah, that was mind-blowing to some people.
It was so funny.
I love when they do that, though, because they always have to walk that stuff back. Like, when they say stuff like that, they're like, this video game is canon. And then 5 years later, they're like, what video game?
Yeah, because my understanding of it via my Star Wars roommate was because it's just such an expanded lore with like all these different projects and different writers. The 2 canons is effectively, these are just stories that they tell, like in universe. So not sure how true those are. And then here's the true facts. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell?
It's even more confusing because there's media that got caught up in the middle of that. Like Star Wars The Old Republic was canon to the expanded universe back in the day. They're still making that game. And it was ongoing when they decided to say, okay, everything before the Clone Wars is not canon anymore. So people are like, is the Old Republic canon still? And if it is, does that mean Knights of the Old Republic is canon and all the things connected to that So I don't envy people who try and make sense of all this. I just try to enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way to do it, I think.
I can't imagine trying to make sense of it. I tried to make sense of the Yu-Gi-Oh timeline once, and I was like, actually, this is stupid. I hate it here.
So I actually have a very casual relationship with a lot of the spin-offs of Yu-Gi-Oh, and I call them
baby.
spin-offs, and I know that they are their own shows in their own right, and they have their own things going on. They're not necessarily directly tied to the Duel Monsters content. And the manga based on those spin-offs are frequently their own stories as well that aren't even based on like GX or 5Ds. They just have their own story. My understanding is Yu-Gi-Oh, GX, 5Ds, all the same world.
Yes.
Then,
confirmed same timeline.
Then it gets confusing.
Yes, very.
You have I say Zexel, but I know it's pronounced like Zielu or something like that. It's like some different pronunciation, but I'm sorry. I want to cover my bases.
Is it?
I don't know.
Say
Zexel.
We say Zexel in this house.
I got corrected so many times when I said Zexel back in the day, so I just tried to
By who?
by fans that were like, "You're saying it wrong," and I was like, "Okay, I'll try my best."
What if they're wrong?
By Kaiba.
Kaiba called you on the phone.
But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexel, that's its own continuity?
My understanding is it takes place in the far future.
Okay.
And then Arc 5 is arguably its own continuity, where it has alternate versions of every previous Yu-Gi-Oh! Timeline that are just unresolved in it.
That's the multiverse Yu-Gi-Oh! Show.
Yeah.
That would be really popular right now if it came out, but...
I know that Jacob's wrapping this up, but I do want to bring up this card that came up when I brought up reference for Jacob on Neo the Magic Swordsman. It also came up with this card that I can't help but read with a certain musical candor. Trance the Magic Swordsman.
Trance the Magic Swordsman.
There's also a line here that says, his description is peculiar magician with considerable abilities. Supposedly, he just returned from a trip to outer space.
Supposedly.
That's nice.
He's making that up.
He keeps telling people that, and we're just not sure.
That's what he
Totally
says, but he has
guys.
no proof.
Yeah, this also works for Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I've been to space, waves hand.
Yeah, I feel like his card would be called something like Spacefaring Samurai or something
Totally.
like that.
Interestingly, there are Star Wars Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, official ones, that have crossed over with Wizard of Oz. I learned this in the last year or so. Yes.
What the
Wait,
hell?
what?
Let me look this up. I can find this. This is legit.
And now you're saying this.
Here we go. What are they called? They're called Cosmo Cards. And you'll notice if you look at the artwork that they are definitely referencing, at the very least, Star Wars, and I know Wizard of Oz is combined in there. If you look up, like, Cosmo Good Witch, that's obviously a lightsaber she's holding.
Cosmo Wicked Witch.
There's, like,
Wow.
Stormtroopers. There's Cosmo Tin Can that is obviously R2-D2 crossed with the Tin Man. So, yeah, there's canonical Star Wars crossover with Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is really cool.
But is it part of the Star Wars canon?
Which canon is it in?
I love the droids in I almost said Yu-Gi-Oh! I love the droids in Star Wars. I love, my favorite droid is the Gonk droid because it just walks around and says Gonk.
Oh, I love Cosmo Tin Can.
Isn't he cute?
He's a little guy.
Yeah, he's doing his best.
I'm finished with Spacefaring Samurai, the new most powerful Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Jacob, this is very cool, by the way.
That's
It's
awesome.
very
Thank you.
animated series.
Yes, the Gendy Tartakovsky animated series was my favorite. The Clone
Yeah, I
Wars
think I was
show.
channeling some of that in like the beard
Yes,
design and
definitely
the
have that.
shapiness. But yeah, get this card, put it in your deck.
Yeah.
You want to put this card in your deck?
Karina, you're going next.
It's time to unleash hell.
Heck yeah, unleash the heaviside layer, as they might say.
Oh
Oh my god.
no! Our audience is
might.
like scrambling to turn off the episode.
So, does your audience not like the classic musical Cats by Andrew Lloyd Webber?
When Cats 2019 came out, we went a little hard on
Oh.
talking about cats.
For about the entire time since. For about 2 years.
Some would say we've never stopped.
Yeah, some would say it still continues to this very episode.
What's the days without incident counter on this one?
Days without jellicles.
We've stopped talking about it as of late just to get your guard down. So let's go.
Hit him with it.
Okay, so I think that it would be wrong if we didn't have Mr. Mistopheles as the Dark Magician.
Oh, yes.
Finally, Dark Magician support with Cat.
So, as we know, his manner is vague and aloof. You'd think there's nobody shyer, but he's also been heard on the roof when he was curled up by the fire. I love that movie.
Damn.
I love that musical. I only recently got into Cats because of the movie, and it caused me to. And I'm sure your audience is sick of hearing about this thing at this point, but
No, they know what they signed up for.
it caused me to open the sort of can of worms because I had no experience with this aside from Memory. I knew the song Memory, and Marin, my partner, was like, "We should watch this movie on digital during the pandemic because we have nothing else to do." And I was like, it's just going to be a waste of our time. It's probably not that special. And we put it on, and I was on half paying attention. I was looking at the corner of my eye, and they just kept saying Jellicle over and over again. And I was like, this is nonsense. And
Yep.
about halfway through, I started paying attention, and I didn't like it, but I wanted to watch it again.
Yeah, I know that feeling exactly.
I feel like half paying attention, like having 1 foot in reality and 1 foot in Cats, is the only way to not get swept fully away in whatever the hell Cats is.
Yeah. See, my relationship with Cats is varied because my high school did a student production of it one year, and it was just like such a mess. And then I watched the old version, like the VHS with my BFF, and I don't know, it made me irrationally angry for some reason, because every time they would dance, I'd just think of real cats doing the dances, and it was pissing me off.
Yes.
So I had this very irrational hatred of cats, and then the movie was getting released and it looked absolutely bananas, and I was like, oh my god, they're making a weird movie. And then I saw it on opening day, very empty theater, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and then I saw it 2 more times in theater.
Oh my gosh.
One of those times with us.
Yeah. One time it was with the entire Drawfee team, and in the first 2 minutes, I look over and Julia just has her head in her hands.
Do you know that scene in A Clockwork Orange where he has his eyes pried open?
Yes.
And he's forced to... That was me. I felt... And then I left the same way that man left in A Clockwork Orange. I felt like a new... worse person.
Something had changed.
Something, to quote Wicked or whatever, something has changed within me.
Yeah.
Something is not the same.
Speaking of Wicked, can you believe they've split that into 2 films?
What?
Yes.
What?
The film adaptation is being split into 2 parts, which I think is completely unnecessary because it's only a 3-hour show, and you can easily trim out an intermission and refine some. You can make a 2-hour, 2.5-hour movie out of Wicked very easily. It's right there. It's done for you.
Movies are getting too long.
I think they're trying to make it into an almost cinematic universe sort of thing. I'm not going to say they're going to make 5, 6 movies, but
universe.
A Wicked multiverse. I don't know.
There's a mid credit scene where Skimbleshanks walks out Nick Fury style.
Going to talk to you about the Railway Initiative. But I have seen the Cats movie more than 20 times at this point.
Oh my goodness.
How?
Is
what?
Purely,
God bless.
Yeah, I get very obsessed with things. This is how I reacted to Yu-Gi-Oh! When I first started watching it. I've had sporadic obsessions, but the first one was probably Star Wars when I was 10. I just watched Star Wars like crazy. And then after a while, I think it was Mystery Science Theater 3000. I was obsessed with that. I was trading VHS tapes with people across the ocean. Then it was, for a while, Xena Warrior Princess, and then it was Yu-Gi-Oh! So
Hell
I've
yeah.
been and then eventually cats.
Yeah.
So I've been across the spectrum of nonsense.
Everyone follows the
same
Xena to
trajectory.
Cats timeline.
Yeah. We all get there eventually.
Yeah. I saw it multiple times in theaters, but it's because I became the Cats friend.
Oh.
I was the one person who was like willing to see Cats with people.
Brilliant.
And they'd be like, "Oh, I thought it'd be kind of fun to watch it, but no one wanted to go with me. You'll go with me?" Heck, if it weren't early 2020 and my friends were easier to make plans with, I might have seen it at least 2 more times because everyone just wanted to see it. I was like, yeah, I'll go.
I kind of became the Cats friend for a while as well, because everybody would come to me and say, I want to watch Cats, but I want to watch it with somebody who understands what's going on. And I want to watch it with somebody who knows what jellicle means, because a lot of people were like, I don't understand. Is jellicle angelical? And I'm like, no, it's very straightforward. It's a child saying, dear lickle. It's saying, dear little cat. And then dogs are pollicle dogs, which is poor little dog. And it's very straightforward if you know what you're looking for. The movie decides that it's actually... The movie pretends that it's deeper than it is. It pretends there's an actual, like, deep... not a deep narrative, but a narrative. Cats shouldn't have a narrative. Cats is... The magic of Cats is that it's a show about cats putting on a show. And that's it.
It is POV. You are a stupid little self-important cat, and all of this makes sense to you. Trust me.
This kind of reflects on how I felt about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, and bear with me when I explain this. I was a dog person for the longest time. I didn't see the appeal of an actual cat. I loved dogs because I grew up with dogs, and they loved me unconditionally, like dogs do. And I was just like, why would you want a cat? Cats just don't give a shit. Cats take care of themselves, and they seem like they could care less if you were there. It took me living with cats and loving them when I got married and moved out here to America to really understand why cats are wonderful, and that they do have love to give their owners, and they do genuinely, you do develop a bond, a really, really unique bond with a cat. Like I posted a video of me petting my cat Gordon on the belly this morning, and it was a magical thing.
It was cute.
Yeah, it's a magical
what a
thing.
Sweetie.
Like, because he let me do that. Like a dog would just wouldn't give a care. Would just like, yeah, you're petting me. This cat let me pet them, and that was a big thing. And
You earned it.
exactly. And I feel like the difference between Yugi and Jaden is the difference between a dog and a cat. Because Yugi
me.
is unconditional love. Yugi is, I am there for my friends, no matter what. Jaden's kind of like a cat where it's like, I'm having a good time. Oh, you guys are here too.
I feel like you have wasted this premise in our show when it could have been a YouTube essay with like 1 million views. I was like so compelled by this premise.
Yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX is like cat.
I would do more essays like that, but every time I do something like that, I get told I sound like a text-to-speech, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm sure a lot of people are listening to Drawfee being like, why is my text-to-speech telling me all this stuff?
Can we turn off Microsoft Sam? I'm trying to watch Drawfee.
I felt like during that whole thing, I was like, this dude's got a perfect voice for video essays. I felt the opposite.
Oh, it's very kind. Thank you.
People never know what they want. That's why they watch me do Yu-Gi-Oh! Video essays. I stopped doing them because they were too hard to edit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
But I did do my Yu-Gi-Oh! GX video essay.
Now, Karina, do you prefer Mr. Mistopheles from the movie or from the stage show? Because they're very different.
From the stage show.
Stage show's so
But
much
I think
better.
this one's channeling a bit of the movie where he's very unsure of himself.
Yeah, they wanted to give him a character arc, which is really interesting. It's an interesting concept. They go from being this fool to being a competent magician because, they keep saying, oh, well, I never was there ever.
Yeah.
But I do think that the movie version of Mr. Mistopheles is more true to the poems, because I'm sure you guys have discussed this, that the whole Cats musical is based on a series of poems. And the poem describes him as being sort of like shy and like doesn't really do much. And the best magic he can do is he can pull any card from a pack. Well, that's not difficult. Anyone can do that.
Yeah, it's called drawing a card.
Yeah.
They do it all the time in Yu-Gi-Oh!
They do.
I guess it's difficult when you don't have thumbs.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
you gotta kind of poke a hole in it.
Yeah.
But then that hole's there forever, so.
Shows you which card it is.
I say this constantly because I think it's so funny, but I don't know if you know, Mr. Kuriboh. In Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, in the dub, which I like to count as canon, they do name drop Cats the Musical in one episode.
I've been told this.
So Cats is canon to Yu-Gi-Oh!
My headcanon is that when Taya goes to New York to study dance, she becomes a member of the Cats show. She becomes the ballet Victoria, the ballet dancer. Yeah.
It all makes sense.
It's all connected.
Exactly.
Everything's
Andrew
connected.
Lloyd Webber is out there causing problems.
And he wrote Yu-Gi-Oh!
He is Yu-Gi-Oh!
I'm just a sucker for musicals at the end of the day. Musicals are my favorite genre. I think everything could be improved by being a musical. If everybody just started spontaneously singing in Yu-Gi-Oh!, I think it would be a much better show.
It really is. I really lament that Pokemon got a Broadway musical because it kind of hit at the exact right time to like get that sort of nonsense, whereas Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of missed the boat on it.
Yeah,
Can you
it's a shame.
imagine?
I think there's huge potential for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Musical. Pegasus is obviously a very musical character.
Yeah, and Darren Dunstan was Giovanni
Yeah.
in the Pokemon musical.
Would have been perfect. Would have been great crossover.
Was there ever a Yu-Gi-Oh! Like stage show in Japan? Because they do
I don't
stage
think
shows of like
so.
every anime.
I feel like there wasn't.
No, I don't think so.
That's shocking to me.
I know, right?
It's not really the same, but I think I don't know anything about the card game, so forgive me, but I think they're at Nationals. They do they have the voice actors come out and perform a duel with actual duelists playing, and they're doing the voices for them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, I've been to one of those, kind of.
The craziest thing is in one of those, the voice actor for Yusei in the dub, Greg Abbey, actually said a quote from my show. He actually ended up saying card games on motorcycles during a live duel, which surprised me.
That's so cool.
Because at this point, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is so steeped in memes, and so much of them come from the abridged series.
It's a huge honor to be
Yeah.
any kind of part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Even like the fandom, even like to be thought of in the same breath as Yu-Gi-Oh! is like, that's a real special thing for me. It goes back to my love for Xena. 2 episodes of Xena were written by a fanfic writer for Xena. Like, they actually got somebody who wrote some of the more popular fan fiction for Xena to write a couple of the final season episodes. And I thought that is the greatest thing for a fan.
That's
that is
smart.
That's the best gift to give a fan of the show, to let them just express themselves within the actual content. And I know I will never have that kind of an opportunity with Yu-Gi-Oh! But to be so ingrained in the fandom, and obviously there are people who, could give or take me, and there are going to be generations of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans to come who've never heard of me. But to have been part of the Duel Monsters celebration is really just very special to me as a fan. It's so unbelievable to me. I don't believe it sometimes.
Yeah, that's so cool. And such like a nice thought too.
Because I feel like I've mentioned this to you before on Twitter, but like, I don't even know if you remember, you used to have like a Zazzle shirt store when you first started Abridge. I had a super special awesome shirt, and I wore it all the time my freshman year of high school.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Back in the day, I really didn't know what I was doing. And I'm pretty sure it was very clear. And there were lots of people who came to me and were like, I can set this website up for you, or I can set this store up for you. And I was very grateful for the help. I probably would have been more discerning if I'd realized, just how easily you can be taken advantage of in a situation like that. But I am grateful for the help I received back in the day.
Yeah, that's how you learn that stuff too.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh yeah, sure, to everybody,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stuff was like so content creation, I guess, in the sense that we do it and stuff. It just wasn't like as big back then, I think. So it was kind of, everyone was a bit new to it, maybe.
Very Wild West.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, totally.
Every time I watch Cats, and it gets to the bit with Idris Elba, he's basically naked. And
God.
he's sitting on the thing, and he takes off his hat, and he's like, hey, or whatever.
Yeah.
I take a picture of the screen, and I send it to my partner, and I'm like, I'm watching Cats again. And they just have a Facebook thread from me that is just that screenshot over and over and over again.
That was one of the most shocking parts of it when I first saw it. I was like, they just put him up there naked.
Yes, it was a choice.
They must have seen how it looked and then just went ahead and said, yeah, we're going to keep it just like this.
I almost feel like they were just like, Idris Elba's gorgeous, nobody will mind, but it didn't work that way.
No, it did
He's
not
a
capture
cat.
his brand of
Yeah.
attractiveness
No.
very
I'm
well.
just like, you're not wrong, but also it just like, it's too much.
Way too much, way too much.
I'm so glad everyone agrees on that because I felt very scandalized the first time I saw that scene. I was like, oh my God.
The whole movie made me feel
It's
scandalized,
naked.
other than the railway cat scene, which I still
The
say
best scene.
It's amazing.
is the best scene of the whole movie because it makes sense in any way,
Yeah,
shape,
and
or
it's
form.
it's shot really well.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's
All
how
the
they should
scale.
have directed the whole film.
Yeah.
They put all their
The
effort
scale
there.
is consistent, kind of, except the cats at some point are like the size of rats
Yes.
because they're like
They're walking on the
they're
rail.
dancing on the rail.
The scale's almost consistent. Let's not
Almost.
get-
They almost
let's
did
not
it.
give them Too much credit.
Yeah, that bit where Skimbleshanks starts tap dance. The song stops and he tap dances for like a full minute. And that's the bit where it
Yeah.
drew my attention back, I think. I was just like, wait, what? This is crazy.
Yeah. Big brain move to turn that into a tap song. I
Mm.
thought it was really great.
Surprising that
I love
Skimbleshanks
that
was the
scene.
highlight. Yeah.
I'm imagining like your mindset, Martin,
Yeah.
of like sitting there not paying attention and then like thinking in your head, like, if this tapping goes on for 20 more seconds, I'm going to devote my full attention to the rest of this movie.
You're not far off there. I think that's pretty much, I was like, wow, this is very bold. I'm into it.
I did feel like I got to come up for air
Mm.
during that movie where I was like, something makes sense. Yeah.
And then they dunk you back in.
Yeah.
I do love that they all watch Skimbleshanks get kidnapped, and then Judi Dench, Deuteronomy, gets taken as well. And they're all obsessed with getting Deuteronomy back, but they don't care about Skimbleshanks.
He's the lifeblood of the movie.
Yeah.
He should have won. He should have been the jellicle choice. He was robbed.
There was a point where I was like doing Cats fan art and then it like made me sick because I was being told to stop in a divine manner. But I did do Skimbleshanks and I do remember someone leaving a comment on it, something along the lines of, this scene drove me crazy. The way he did his slutty little shoulder roll. Why was he so sultry? And I was like, not wrong.
Everything in that movie is very horny. It's very strange.
Yeah.
But in like such an upsetting way.
Yeah. In a genuinely like, oh, this is weird kind of way.
Yeah, it's sort of presented in a very innocent way, but then everyone is secretly trying to dry hump each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Here's
Oh.
my dark magician support.
Fantastic.
Mr.
So cute.
Mistopheles.
I love it. He poof.
He's precious.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
He's the right balance of the original musical and the movie, I think.
I love in the musical when he shows up and he goes, presto.
Yeah.
People like to just show up and say shit in that
That's how
movie.
I'm going to
Yeah.
start showing up to your apartment.
Yeah.
with a light
Presto.
up jacket.
Yeah.
We're going to open the door and Karina's going to go, milk. Anyway, how's it going?
No, different cat. That's Jason Derulo. Okay.
So for a third and final Yu-Gi-Oh card,
Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh, the thing I know so much about.
it's okay.
Oh, yes.
I don't think you need to know about this one or about Yu-Gi-Oh for this one. I am a Kuriboh myself, and I felt that the most appropriate movie character to turn into a Yu-Gi-Oh card would be a similarly fluffy character. Obviously, no offense to Mr. Mistopheles, he's pretty fluffy himself. But, of course, the star of one of the best films of all time, Paddington.
Paddington.
Oh, Paddington. I've not seen the newest.
Paddington 2.
Yeah, I've just heard that Paddington 2 is like one of the greatest movies of all time.
It will melt your heart. It really will. They really brought a real magic to not just the character but to the world and his family essentially. And I highly recommend it. If you even so much as liked the first Paddington, you will love Paddington 2. And it in my opinion, if you have a heart, you will love Paddington 2.
I haven't seen any of the Paddingtons.
But he's a cute little bear.
That's
yeah?
really all you need to know, I feel. It's a very simple premise. He's a very charming, polite bear.
I was thinking of like, oh, what are like some stuffed animal archetypes? And of course, the first one I thought of was Fluffle, which I don't think we should do to Paddington.
I was looking at Des Koala, and I was thinking, what if instead of the leaves, he was eating marmalade?
Des Koala is just a koala.
Julia, I'm going to pull up a Kuriboh for you.
There you go.
Over here.
Yes.
I feel like Kuriboh, much like Paddington, people are very unassuming about them, but they can do magical things.
Yeah, like explode and multiply and read.
We have
Excuse me? Is that what Paddington can do?
in
Oh.
Paddington 3,
cute.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kuriboh is basically just a ball of hair.
Yes, one of our friends, Steffers, who I will shout out, who's a big fan of Drawfee, our Scottish friend Steffers, she is huge into Paddington, and she got us, during the pandemic, all of us to sit on Discord and watch Paddington 1 and Paddington 2, because a lot of us hadn't seen those movies, and we were better off for having seen them.
Oh, shout out to her.
Unlike cats.
Yeah.
This is specifically for you.
Unlike cats.
Which made us worse people and
Which I will
ruined
never recover from.
the world.
Yes.
Things just haven't been the same since Cats came out.
Well, listen, right after we saw Cats, and I was like, life is not going to get any worse than this.
We saw Cats and then got fired.
And then we got laid off, and then a pandemic hit.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
within 2 months.
Yeah, Cats was the harbinger of the end times for that era of all of our lives.
I do feel like nothing was the same. I know we have BC and AD, but now we need AC for Africa.
Yeah.
It's a new era.
It's the best way to measure it.
Oh, this is already so cute.
Aw.
I'm trying to bring in this
The
Kuriboh.
Kuriboh eyes.
Yeah.
Except he really just looks very dead inside.
Should I explain what Fluffle is to you? I feel like it's a kind of a Julia core, but it will mess up your perception of this drawing. But it's also one of my favorite archetypes. I think it's so cute.
Go for it.
It's a polymerization based archetype, so all of the main monsters are like Fluffle tiger, Fluffle bear, Fluffle cat, dog, etc., Fluffle mouse, and they're just these really cute stuffed animals.
Uh-huh.
But the support monsters are all various knives and shears and other blades. And then you fuse them together, and the polymerization monsters are these like fucked up stuffed animals with like scissors coming out of them, and their threads are all undone.
I gotta look this up.
They're really cool.
Which Yu-Gi-Oh character used these?
They're from Arc 5. Sora uses them.
Oh.
That's Kingdom Hearts.
He's the
He's
little
the little
Bakura.
green-haired kid.
Yeah, like mint-haired kid.
Yeah.
He's always like eating candy and stuff.
And he has kind of he pulls like a face sometimes, or
Yeah, he's like the Bakura
There you go.
of Arc 5.
Yeah, I could imagine Bakura using Fluffles now that you've described them.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Are you talking about the Fright Fur?
yes,
ones?
yes.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
They
They're
turn into
so
Fright Fur.
good.
They're great. I love them. I really wanted to make a deck of them, but they're really expensive because some of them are like Shonen Jump exclusives.
Mm.
Blah.
My gosh.
Cards.
I can't imagine how much money I
Prices.
would have lost if I'd gotten into Yu-Gi-Oh at a younger age and actually wanted all the cards.
It would have been a terrible time to get into it because all the cards back then sucked.
I had so much fun because I was like really into Yu-Gi-Oh during the first, season and like got the cards and like played the card game.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a simple time for playing the
Yeah.
card game because there wasn't a lot of mechanics. It was mostly pretty straightforward and most of the cards sucked. So
Everyone was on a level field.
yeah, everyone was kind of on a level playing field. And I remember me and one of my friends would play Yu-Gi-Oh like over the phone.
Mm.
What?
So we would like call each other on our house phones
Wow.
at the time.
God.
Hardcore.
And we just like say what cards we were playing and like had to like sort of remember what was on the other person's field.
So funny.
That's amazing.
Did you ever cheat?
No, never. It was an honor system.
Oh,
It was online gaming before it existed.
I know. You created that.
I invented online
You
gaming.
invented Master Duel.
Yep. Wouldn't exist without me.
You are the master.
You did that. Whoa. I remember at some point, one of my cousins got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! And we were in high school. So kind of like after its initial big popularity, but like he got into competitive.
Mm.
And so he would make me play test his decks for him. And I'm just like, fine. Because it involves so much reading.
Sure.
And I'm just like, I don't know how to play Parasite. I have to sit here and read.
I have that experience when I stream the like Duel Links or the Master Duel game. People will tell me, this is a good deck, you should play it. And then I'll be like, okay, I've got all these cards. What do I do with these? And so we spend hours and days on stream just getting me to read the cards and figure out what order they go in. And it's a lot. And then they ban the cards and I'm like, well, now what?
You can't make me learn the Yu-Gi-Oh meta. I won't. I will only play character decks. I only know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh GX character decks. They're fun. I'm sorry. I love playing Crystal Beast. Counting to 7 is fun.
That was always the appeal for me, was that I never really wanted to play the game to be competitive, but I was always interested in having the cards because that's what the characters had. I was like, if I have these cards, it's like I know what the characters are feeling when they hold these cards in their hand and how powerful they must be. But I don't know how to play them.
I know how to play some archetypes, and they're only gimmick archetypes. I love playing Crystal Beast. I love playing Ojama.
Chaz.
Those are my nasty boys. Chaz is my nastiest little boy, and I love him with all my heart.
I was very surprised to find that there was a very devout Chaz fandom, and I think that they've become more prolific in recent years.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this about me. I have an Ojama tattoo.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Where is he? Where's my little guy?
Oh, wow. Amazing. Brilliant.
I care him so much.
Karina's nasty little arm freak.
He guides my hand as I commit sins.
Oh my gosh. My friend Rochelle has a huge crush on Chaz. I was like, you think Chaz is like sexy? And she was like, yeah, kinda. And I'm like, what?
Here's the thing about Chaz. He has similar appeal as Kaiba, except that he's just like cuter and like he's like more moe.
Yeah.
So he's kind of just like he's more comic relief, and that's really endearing.
He's kind of the more tolerable version of Kaiba. If you knew him in real life, I think you'd be able to tolerate him more.
If Kaiba were just a silly little guy who was haunted by no less than 50 annoying littler guys.
That would probably put Kaiba in his place.
I have to say something very cursed so that it will leave my brain.
Yes.
But when you said she thinks Chaz is sexy, all I could hear is she thinks my tractor's sexy, but she thinks my Chaz is sexy to the tune of that country song.
Oh, God.
And so
that's
now,
for a very specific
now
reason.
everyone has to think she thinks my Chaz is sexy in their brains.
Yep, it's in there now. Thanks, Jacob.
That's the curse for the viewers of the day.
Can't believe we got through a whole conversation about cats, and then Chaz was the thing that got cursed.
We can still talk about cats. But before we do, Julia, this is so funny.
So cute.
His face.
He looks like hopped up on whatever he's drinking.
Yeah.
Is that his marmalade?
Yeah. The cards that Jacob was just showing me of like the ones that, I don't know, it's the cute ones that get the knives or whatever
Yeah.
they're called. My brain is melted. They kind of have this zoned out energy.
Yeah, kinda.
This like child on too much sugar energy.
A lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards kind of look like they're having an intense battle, or they look like they're just looking at you like Puss in Boots, like...
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where it's like a very cute art on the card, but when it's like the hologram and you see it from behind, there's like a knife sticking out of his back. You're
Yeah.
like, wait a second.
You definitely have to play Paddington like alongside a Marmalade card in order to like unlock his true form.
The flavor text is something like, oh, he's just a kind little bear going on an adventure, but something may have happened to him.
Is he just like eating it with his hands?
Yeah.
You nasty little
He's
freak.
a bear.
He loves the marmalade.
The thing I do love about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, especially by now in our godforsaken year of 2022, is that they really are anything.
Yes, it could be literally anything. I mean, we have the Star
Yeah.
Wars Wizard of Oz crossover. And
Yeah.
We have a Fluffle stuffed toy with a knife.
Yeah. Because I feel like old Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think we've talked about this on one of our previous card episodes, they're like scrungly, like they're weird.
Mm,
But now I feel like they lean a lot into like the anime archetypes and then
Definitely.
just like odd things. Like,
Yeah.
I know there's a sushi boat archetype.
there's a VTuber archetype as well,
Oh, yeah.
which is they're keeping up with the times.
Yeah, they're on top of it.
When do we get to be on a Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Yeah, where's our Yu-Gi-Oh?
Where's the
Drawfee
Drawfee
archetype?
card?
Where's support in the Yu-Gi-Oh or the YouTuber archetype?
I like that he's in the shadow realm now.
It's just
Paddington goes to the shadow realm.
Jolly good.
my brain is just like, doing the slow zoom on Paddington's zoned out face.
You just hear static getting louder.
Head empty, only marmalade.
Oh, he got pissed.
He will do harm for the marm.
There is a thing he does in the movies where he gives a hard stare at people. It's he does it in both films. When people are being rude to him, he just sort of slowly like frowns, and then the camera zooms in, and he explains that if you give someone a hard stare, then they have to rethink what they're doing, and it always works.
That's what he's doing right now.
That's me when I drive. If someone does something stupid and then I have to like sit next to them at a red light, just stare.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's something I accidentally do to Julia sometimes. Because sometimes I'll like walk in the room and I'll forget what I had come in there to do. And so I'll just kind of stand there. And then Julia will look at me and be like, sorry, I'm almost done doing this thing. I just need to do this like one last thing. I'm sorry. It'll just be like a second. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about anything. I'm just standing here.
No thoughts. Sorry.
Resting Paddington face.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's a bit inevitable that our viewers may actually take our renders of these and turn them into Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So I do want to pitch the idea that this is a flip effect monster. And when it's attacked in face down, it'll flip and you like flip a coin. And if you roll heads, the stare destroys the monster.
Man-eater Paddington.
The monster has to return to your opponent's hand because it thought about what it was doing and no longer wanted to fight.
I like to think that it's like Baby Dragon, where there's the 1,000 dragon version, where it's just you can turn him into a grizzly bear.
Yeah, just a full-on
3,000
bear.
attack.
Paddington is kind of OP.
Yeah, needs nerfing.
He's one of those unassuming cards that when they reformat the game for the 5 millionth time, they accidentally make him OP. Little rescue rabbit ass.
Well, Julia, this is
He's
incredible.
so cute.
Fantastic.
I love this Paddington.
I'm very grateful for your skill here, because you really brought out the cuteness.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to see all of these made into cards by
Yeah.
our viewer base.
And then
Please
put
tweet them
into
at
the
us.
real game.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Get at us, whoever makes Yu-Gi-Oh.
Come on,
Yeah,
Kazuki
we're
Takahashi.
desperate.
We're
Sarah,
waiting.
please.
Well, this was super fun. Martin, thank you so much for coming on and giving us these things to draw.
Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Julia, for having me on.
Yeah, is there anything you'd like to shout out for people to check out or while you're here?
Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on YouTube at Little Kuriboh is the channel name. You can also find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Yu-Gi-Oh! TAS. There's also the Facebook group Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged Series Official. Aside from that, you can find me in various different places, disparate places, but those are the three core places.
Look out your window. He's there.
Whoa.
And if you like us, you can find us on patreon.com/Drawfee. You can support us so we can keep making videos like this. Also, in order to make videos like this, we need comments with your suggestions of what you want to see us do. And also, we have a merch store. We have a Twitch, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Monday nights. Find us on all of those. Remember to like and subscribe as well.
And comment if you're a dog person or a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX person.
We're sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry.